Sup boys, Ludo here with class tuning coming June 30th. Very nice, unexpected. Definitely did not expect to have another tuning before the end of the season, so pleasantly surprised. Let's see what we have. What do we need? First thing first is Frost Mage nerfs per usual. Devourer is also overperforming. Press Evoker for the healers. Outside of that, we have some strong stuff like Arms, Red, Hunters, Affliction. But it's not on that level, right? So those are kind of fine, I would say. What's underpowered? Fury, Rest of Shaman, Holy Priest, stuff like that, right? So those we getting Demon Locks, hoping for good buffs. Now, I've just completed my 17th Elite spec. So I have a lot of specs around 2.5 at the moment. So I played a lot and I know what's good, what's bad. So let's get going. And we're gonna do all of them, all 34. So halfway there, baby. Let's go. Balance Druid. All damage increased by 4%. Pretty good change, I agree. Balance Druid is not in the best spot, but it's not too bad either. So this is gonna push it in A tier in my opinion. Okay, this could push it in A tier. Probably will. Feral. Feral is strong, definitely, but in the high-end games, right? All damage increased by 3%, not in PvP. Rip damage increased by 5%, not in PvP. Rampant Ferocity damage reduced by 15%, not in PvP. Melee auto attack damage increased by 15%. So only that applies to PvP. That's not gonna change anything, let's be real, right? So whatever. Restoration Druid. All damage increased by 15%. Bear form trash reduced by 25%. So no one is clicking trash in bear form, whatever. All damage increased by 15% is kinda big, I ain't gonna lie, especially for the cheese builds on the Resto Druid, okay? Convoke and stuff like that. So this could be scary, okay? I don't know if that was really the best choice since the Druid is already the best, second best healer, but okay. Let's see the PP changes. Guardian. While Guardian now echoes at 50% effectiveness from 200% effectiveness in PvP, which is really good change because I was playing against the leather one Guardian Druid. He does no damage outside of the burst, but burst is literally like Fire Mage. It's crazy burst. It's bullshit burst, you know? So this is a good change. Who's next? We didn't see Demon Hunter anything. We have Devourer. Shattered Soul now heals for 0.5 on max HP per soul fragment consumed was 1%. So this is not gonna change much, boys. This is not gonna change much. Yes, it's a little hit to defensive, but the damage part for the Devourer is, you know, the scariest part. So whatever, dude. Havoc. All ability damage increased by 4% in PvP combat. Nice, even though Havoc was kind of, in my opinion, hidden good. It's really good. Soul Rending now grants 3% leech and additional 3% in meta, down from 5 and additional 5. So we're nerfing the defensiveness, but buffing the offensiveness. Desperate Instinct now causes Blur to reduce damage taken by additional 5, down from 10% in PvP. So, as I said, now, this one is a bit much maybe. This one is completely fair, and in my opinion, I would take the damage for the survivability for the Demon Hunter. Because damage is not that great, but survivability is really good. So, fair exchange in my opinion. I would take it. DK. Frost, Insane Burst, Unholy is good in some lobbies. In some lobbies it's, you know, really good. In some lobbies it's really bad. We need the Mistweaver bug gone, but seems like that's not gonna happen. Let's see. Purify damage reduced by 15% in PvP. Soul Reaper damage reduced by 15% in PvP. Dread Plague damage increased by 15% in PvP. So they are nerfing the burst and buffing the dots. Now, the dots are not gonna kill anybody, okay? Yes, Unholy will have a slightly more damage at the end of the match, but it's not gonna be the kill damage. This is what kills, right? So, unfortunately, I think Unholy might drop to B tier after this, okay? Unfortunately. Evoker should be next, I think. Let's check. Evoker. Devastation. All ability damage increased by 3%. Okay, that's fair. especially for solo shuffle, where it's very hard to close the games. But the Evoker in 3v3 is really oppressive, okay? Really good into 3v3. So, augmentation. All damage increased by 8% in PvP combat. Very strong, very nice. But as far as I know, the problem with augmentation is the Apex talent echoes on the pets. So that's, in my opinion, the biggest problem with augmentation, not this. Okay. Let's see next. Preservation is overperforming. Okay, I agree. As I said, temporal burst increases haste, movement speed, and cooldown recovery by 15%, down from 30%. 30%. This is huge. This is humongous, boys. And fair, because Press Evoker was unkickable. Too big haste, like unkickable. So yeah, I think this is gonna put it in line. This is pretty big. Honestly, this is pretty big. Okay, Hunter. Let's see if he has something upstairs. We do. No, we don't. We don't. Marksman. Double tap now causes aim shot to fire at 16% effectiveness of your next rapid fire to fire at 16% additional shots. Was 40%. I mean, yes, Marksman is really strong, but what the hell is even point of double tap if it's gonna be 16% effectiveness? 16. Like, what's the point even? You know, like, why? This is dumb in my opinion. Like, might as well remove it at this point, right? I mean, I know it's getting removed next season, but just, I don't know, this is a bad change in my opinion, whatever. Survival, all damage increased by 3% in PvP, fine, but the problem again, for survival, the one shot is bullshit because it can one tap. So that needs to get nerfed. I'm completely fine with buffing survival damage, but that one tap bullshit needs to get removed. Okay? Mage. Okay, we can do this. I think something we have. Yeah. Arcane, all ability damage increased by 3%. Very good. Arcane Mage sucks, so this is good. Mage here, Frost, finally. Ray of Frost damage decreased by 20%. About damn time. Okay, all damage increased by 3% in PvP combat. Okay, that's fine. Now, the problem is, guys, that for the Frost Mage, what we need to do is remove mass invisibility for the Frost Mage. Because he is immortal. If he is good, he is immortal. Okay? Next, Paladin. Protection, Divine Exaction, now Divine casts Divine Toll again at 25% effectiveness, was 75% effectiveness in PvP combat. Hammer of Light damage decreased by 30% in PvP combat, which means that Templar build for the Prot Paladin is dead. It's gone. So you can forget about it if you play Prot Paladin, you can only play Lightsmith because this is over. Red Paladin. All ability damage reduced by 3% in PvP combat. I'm sure a lot of Reds will be pissed off about this. Now, the thing I usually see, Red Paladins are always bottom damage. Always. Personally, when I'm around almost 2.6 on Red, I was playing it for a few hours, and I was almost I would say 75% of the lobbies top damage. Now, I'm not saying Retribution Paladin does great damage. It does not. But it doesn't do terrible damage. But it doesn't do great damage either. Now, for the red, the damage is not the problem, right? It's not the problem. It's not the problem burst. It's not the problem damage. The problem is it's toolkit. It's too much. It's overloaded. Against a good red, every game lasts at least 5 minutes. Okay? That's the problem here, not the damage. So let's go next. Priest, I think we have Priest something upstairs as well. Priest, Holy Word Serenity healing increased by 20%, very nice. Holy Word Sanctify healing increased by 20%, very nice. Good change. Discipline. Expiation deals damage equal to 200% of the amount consumed from Shadow Word Pain in PvP combat, was 300%. I'm guessing this is a Voidweaver thing. Capable Torment damage reduced by 25% in PvP. Okay. Shadow Word Pain damage reduced by 10% in PvP. Ooh, they're blasting Voidweaver damage. They're nerfing it hard, which is kind of fair, because Voidweaver was doing too much damage, like way too much damage. Voidweaver Atonement Healing increased by 15%, is gonna heal more, nice. Oracle Preventive Measure increased damage of Penance Smite, Holy Nova by 20%, okay. Ultimate Penitence Healing increased by 25%. Okay, so all in all, I would say I'm kind of happy with the discipline changes, because Voidweaver is kind of toxic in Shuffle. All the games are 30 seconds long. Like, either he dies, teammate dies because he doesn't heal for shit, or he one-shots something. So, like, every lobby with Voidweaver, I hate it. Shadow, I'm hoping for some nice changes. All ability damage increased by 4% in PvP. Nice. Like, Shadow does decent damage. But this is nice, I like it. Shadow Word Death, damage increased by 45% in PvP combat. Nice. But, look, Shadow Word Death was doing nothing, it was useless, it was doing 0 damage. So this is gonna put it back on Raider, except, you know, breaking CC and stuff like that. But yeah, this is good. This is very nice. Shaman, we had some changes here. Shaman, all healing increased by 4%. Not in PvP though. Not in PvP though. I mean, look, when I was playing my Shaman, Shaman heals really good. Like, you're gonna be out healing anyone. The problem is you have no big defensives. I mean, Link is kinda ass. The big totem is good, but in dampening it's not that good. So, you know, it doesn't have damage reduction, any of them. So that kind of sucks. Okay, next for the Shaman, Resto. Farseer. Maelstrom Supremacy increases healing of affected spells in PvP by 20%, up from 15%. Okay. Farseer. Hydro Bubble effectiveness is no longer reduced in PvP. Before it was 20% reduced. This is a big buff. Heals cast by Call of the Ancestors increased by 30%, down, you know, up from 20% in PvP. So this is again a big buff. Big buff to the Farseer. Honestly, I didn't even try Farseer. I was playing Totemic. So, but personally, I would prefer Farseer over Totemic. So I'm happy with the changes. Good for the rest of Shaman. Good for the rest of Shaman. That's it for the normal changes. Now we for the Warrior. Oh, Warlock. They don't know the order alphabet, I guess. Let's go with the Warrior. Arms and Protection. Mountain of the Muscle and Scar reduces damage taken by 3% in PvP, down from 5%. So nerf to the Colossus. Now, Colossus is probably still gonna be better choice, because it's more bursty, more control, more still tankier, right? So all in all, not a big change. Now, is it fair? I think it could be fair. I'm fine. Since Frost Mage is getting nerfed, I'm gonna say it's fine. You know, whatever. Now, no Fury Warrior buffs. That's a miss, in my opinion. Fury Warrior is really bad. Now for the Warlock, we have Affliction. All damage increased by 3% in PvP. Nice. But Affliction is doing already a lot of damage. It's probably the second best caster in the game. Could be the best caster now after Frost Mage nerfs. We will see. So was this really needed? Probably not, especially since Unholy is getting nerfed, Warrior is getting nerfed, and Red Paladin is getting nerfed. So this is kind of quadruple buff for the Affliction, right? And Devourer is getting nerfed. So probably not needed. Probably gonna be the best caster in the game right now. Okay. Demolock. Shadow Ball damage increased by 200% in PvP. This is pretty big. This is pretty big. Demon Bolt damage increased by 30% in PvP. Also, very nice. I love me some Demolock. I love it. So, very nice. Dasholock. Incinerate damage increased by 50% in PvP. I mean, guys, is that gonna do anything? Okay, sure, we'll take it. But is it gonna do much? Probably not, right? So all in all, I'm gonna say it's a decent patch. Yes, few misses, like in my opinion, Holy, a miss. Marksman, a miss. You know, Mage good, Paladin, whatever. Like, we have some good stuff and some bad stuff. Out of all, I would say it's a positive patch in general. So, Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like and sub, and see you in the next one. Peace out.